Yo, what's going on, everyone? I'm just here for a quick, very quick chat. Let me see if everything is going good. Hey, can you guys hear me? Welcome to the live stream. Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me or not. It's my first time doing this. I don't know if this setup is good or not. What's up, Jay? What up, Brian? You guys can hear me? Good. So this shouldn't be very long. I only have a few minutes, and I decided why not go ahead and try out this live stream thing and see kind of what's going on. But the first thing I do want to talk about, yes, Jay, Brandon Ingram is in trade talks. So I talked about it in the video, and basically what's going on with Brandon Ingram, at least from my side of what I'm hearing, is that the Lakers were trying to get Jimmy Butler, of course, from the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is before he moved to the Philadelphia 76ers. And at that time, the Lakers were trying to make that move. Jimmy Butler was actually cool with that move. So Jimmy Butler was okay going to the Lakers. We heard a lot before that maybe he didn't want to play with LeBron James. What I've heard is that no, he was cool playing with LeBron James in LA. So they actually offered Brandon Ingram. Now we don't know what else maybe could have been in that deal coming back to LA, but we knew it was going to be Jimmy Butler. And the reason why they didn't really get too far was because the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't like the contracts the Lakers were sending over. So it looks like the Lakers either try to package something else, or I don't know exactly what may happen. But that's really what happened with Brandon Ingram. You guys know, you guys follow me. I'm not a huge fan of Brandon Ingram at all, really. So I don't mind that trade. I'm a Lakers fan, of course, so I do have some bias, but I'm not really a huge Brandon Ingram fan. I know a lot of you guys in the comments right now saying Bradley Beal for Brandon Ingram. That deal won't happen at all. Brandon Ingram on the trade block, but I don't think that trade. Well, first of all, the Lakers have to add extra stuff because of salary cap reason. You have to make that match up. So they will have to add something more to that. I don't see the Lakers trading more than just Brandon Ingram and bring in a Bradley Beal. But I can tell you Bradley Beal is definitely on the Lakers' radar. So maybe they can, kind of get something in place at one point. I'm reading some of you guys' comments. John Wall to the Knicks. That's an interesting one, honestly. That's an interesting one. John Wall, I doubt he will go because that contract, once again, is incredibly bad. And a lot of teams, what I'm hearing, it may only be like 2 teams who are actually interested in John Wall. So um I don't see that. John Wall to the Bulls. Like I said, same scenario. I think John Wall is a great point guard. I think he's definitely top 6, top 7 point guard. I remember I got a lot of slack a few years ago because I actually believe John Wall 1 point was better than Kyrie Irving. Obviously, I don't look like that was the best, opinion at the time or now. But I don't see a lot of teams being interested in that. So although it can work, John Wall really being traded at this time, I don't really think it's going to work. You guys have more questions, keep hitting them in the quick chat so we go ahead and talk about some of these real quick. I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to do this very quickly. Let's see. AD to the Lakers. Yes. Anthony Davis. I'm saying it right now. At some point, Anthony Davis will be a Laker. I don't know if it'll be this year, though. I definitely think it'll be next year if it does happen or something crazy happens before the trade deadline. But I definitely love the idea of Anthony Davis going to the Lakers. They have enough to do it. Lonzo Ball and KC for Kemba. Nah. The Lakers wouldn't move Lonzo for Kemba Walker. One, on the fact that if they bring in Kemba's going to want a long-term deal at the end of this year. This is last year on this contract. The Lakers aren't going to pay that and then have enough money to try to go pay another star player. So that won't happen. Ingram for Ariza. No. Nah, I don't think that's going to happen either. And just very quickly, just for future reference, do you guys like if I go live, maybe some chats or do this way more often? Like I said, this is my first time on this channel. I did on my other channel before, but my first time on this channel ever going live. So yeah, if you guys like this, King Swag likes it. If you guys like it, we could definitely do this. Definitely way more. in the future. It's actually a little easier than doing the whole video too. Um, so yeah, any more questions you guys have? Really can't see AD in LA. I think it's going to happen. I really do think it's going to happen. It's really all up to New Orleans right now. Can New Orleans convince Anthony Davis that they could build a championship contending team around him soon? If they can't do that, he's going to force his way out. And the work already hiring, agents that's close to the Lakers. The Lakers are going to be the front runners. You have Boston, you have Philly, but the Lakers are going to be the front runners if that does happen. But yeah, I definitely do see that happening. Let's see. Ingram, Pope, future first round for Hayward or Beal. Haven't really thought about Gordon Hayward, if that's who you're talking about, Gordon Hayward. I haven't really thought too much about the Lakers trying to get Gordon Hayward. That could be interesting since Gordon Hayward looks like he's the odd man in when it comes to that whole Boston Celtics situation. I think he will, eventually get things going. But that's an interesting one. I don't think I'll be a huge fan of it. Of course, it wouldn't hurt the Lakers. You got a forward who could shoot, stretch the floor that helps LeBron, as long as LeBron has shooters around him. I think that is definitely great. Let's see. Is there Chicago Bulls trade rumors? Right now is very, very stagnant, of course. Especially after the firing of Fred Hoiberg. So once they kind of figure that out, really no Chicago Bulls stuff that is serious. And I want to let you guys know a lot of the stuff you hear, like I've said in some other videos, that I say people say stuff to me and it has a reason behind it. Some stuff is credible, some stuff is not. In terms of credible stuff that I believe, I don't think the Bulls are really serious with anything. Kevin Durant coming to the Lakers. If you ask me right now, I would say no. I would say no. I think KD stays in Golden State, or I think KD goes to a team like the New York Knicks. But going to the Lakers, no. I don't see that happening. I hope it happens. Like I said, I'm a Laker fan, so I hope it happens. I don't see it, but I'm definitely wishing that can happen. Philly cashed in for Jimmy. I think Philly got the bad end of the stick when it came to that deal. If you watch the videos, obviously I wasn't a huge fan of the 76ers grabbing Jimmy Butler just because of the price you pay. Yes, you get a star player at the time, but you give up some depth, and you get up depth that helped you and they play their role. That is very important. Those glue guys that play their role, that's very, very, very important. So I think they got the short end of the stick on that one. Jaylen Brown will get moved. Hayward's 30 mil. I don't think the move on from Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's going to be there. I have heard the potential that he could be moved. So you're not far off from that. I just think ultimately they hold on to Jaylen. You have a great young core. And you've seen what they did in the playoffs last season without Gordon Hayward or Kyrie, and they were allowed to be that young core and learn and develop together. I don't see them getting rid of that at this point. So I definitely think Jaylen is staying in Boston. Will Jimmy stay in Philly? Yes, I think he will. Definitely the wild card. They're going to try to court him. They're going to try to, make everything as great as possible. But I don't think there's a lot of better options out there for Jimmy Butler. Maybe Miami, but when it comes to winning, I don't see them anywhere as a better option than staying in Philly. So I think he's comfortable kind of being the third wheel type of guy. Of course, he takes the last shots, but no, I definitely think he's staying. Rose coming back to the Bulls. Don't see that happening either. I think he's staying with Coach Tibbs. Him and Tibbs has that relationship. But I did tell you guys, if you remember when I made the video about Utah, now you got to go way back to the trade deadline. When I made that video about Utah releasing him, Derrick Rose can still put up 18 to 20 points a game. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't have any of the stats in front of me. I believe he's averaging about 19 points a game this season. Derrick Rose, if he stays healthy, that's the major piece, obviously, if he can stay healthy. but Derrick Rose could still ball. He's not that same, freak athletic guy who's dunking on everybody. But Derrick Rose, um, he could ball. I don't think he's an all-star player, but Derrick Rose definitely a lot better than a lot of point guards. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a starting job permanently soon. Kevin Love to Phoenix for Bender and this year's top 3 protected pick. That's let me think about that one. We know that Kevin Love, this was actually a video I was going to drop tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know a little bit today. Kevin Love, he's going to be gone. Kevin Love is going to be traded. I think he accepted the fact he's going to be traded. The whole question now is when he's going to be traded. Was it going to be this, year before the deadline, or is it going to be in the summer? But Kevin Love is gone. He's definitely going to be traded. So that one is a very, very good one to Phoenix. He will help out that team. I'll let you know that right now. He'll help them out. Cleveland just trying to get young. Jordan Bender, he's one of those guys, like I said, when you're trading away an older guy with a bad contract, you get somebody who hasn't lived up to expectations. To me, I don't think anybody will say Bender lived up to expectations. And you get a top 3 pick. We know the Suns going to be in the lottery. It's not going to be that great of a pick. If I'm Cleveland, do I do that? I might pull the trigger, get a good draft pick. You get rid of Kevin Love's contract. You don't have to worry about that. And I said this before, with Kevin Love and his contract, the way they structured that in the summer is beneficial to other teams moving forward. Because he typically you get paid more with each year. His is decreasing, so he actually gets paid less with each and every year. D Rose is back. Absolutely. Derrick Rose, he never really left. He needed the opportunity somewhere. Cleveland, we all know what type of circus show that was when everybody was there. That wasn't beneficial for almost anybody at all. So the Cleveland one, you got to give him a pass. But even in New York, Derrick Rose had those flashes where he still looked very, very good. So I don't think he'll retire a Bull. Oh, he will retire a Bull. Yes, he will retire a Bull. I don't think he'll go back to the Bulls. But yes, he definitely. I don't know if he involved, but he's been good. He has evolved with his shooting. I will say that. So yes, give you that one. He came back with a shot. I don't think nobody was expecting that. Spurs should grab him and put Murray, shooting guard, DeRozan, small forward. Let me know who you're talking about. They should grab who, and I will try to answer that. Again, Jabari Parker for Wall. Once again, J.R. Smith is trash. J.R. Smith is definitely one of those type of players. No, I don't think Jabari Parker for Wall, just because the contract situation once again. But if anybody was going to do it, it would be the Bulls, because the Bulls have, I think they may have the most cap space, if not the most. They have a lot of cap space. So maybe if a team was going to take a chance on John Wall, it would be the Chicago Bulls. I won't mind that at all. Derrick Rose. So what was that question again? Let me see if I can find it. Derrick Rose. Spurs should grab him. Okay, Rose, Murray, and DeRozan. I wouldn't mind that. Anytime you have Pop could work almost anything. So no, I would not mind that at all. Kyle Korver to the Jazz. I think that's great for Utah. A guy, he's back in Utah. I think a place that he kind of always wanted to be again. So I don't think that's a bad issue for him. I know he met his wife in Utah, so that's great. But it's not Pop. Kyle Korver in Utah, I think that's great. I definitely think he's going to be able to provide shooting off the bench, add some more depth there. Utah's one of those teams that should be a lot better than how they've been performing. So Utah's just trying to find that rhythm and figure out what they should do in Utah. But I think Kyle Korver is definitely going to help that one. J.R. Smith to Milwaukee for Dellavedova in the second round pick. No, I don't think that'll really help what Cleveland's trying to do. It makes sense for J.R. Smith on his side. Yes, you absolutely want to go to a place like Milwaukee. But no, I don't see that happening, because Cleveland, they're really focused on just staying as young as possible, and they want as many draft picks as possible. And that's the hard part with JR. You're not going to get a first round. At least I don't see a first round pick coming back for JR Smith. So that one, It's going to be tough. Lakers missed out on Korver. Yes, if LA, I'm talking about the Lakers, if they got Kyle Korver, that would have been absolutely huge. Had him coming off the bench with Josh Hart. You have two shooters all of a sudden. I'm not a huge fan of KCP, but he's been playing better lately. That would have been a great get, but fortunately, Utah stepped up to the plate, and I don't think nobody really gonna have a better offer than what Utah gave Cleveland. I think Cleveland also won that trade. Love to the Suns is interesting. Suns could package Bridges, Anderson, and picks. They could. They could. The Phoenix Suns in that situation where they probably have a lot of young assets they can move. That is, Jay, I agree with you. That is a very, very interesting one. I don't think the Suns will do it, but I would love to see Kevin Love with Phoenix. I think that would help out that young core. He's back closer to LA, his hometown. He's not there, but he's closer. I definitely do like that. Zach LaVine, most improved player. I don't know if I would say most improved because I think some people believe that he will be great, but fantastic year from Zach LaVine. And the Timberwolves look like they could have messed up by allowing him to leave for Jimmy Butler. Because imagine having Zach LaVine, Carl Anthony Towns, and Andrew Wiggins when he decides he wants to play. That would have been a great, and Derrick Rose would have been there. That would have been a fantastic lineup. But of course, they decided to go with good old Jimmy Butler. So you could thank Todd Thibodeau for that one. Let's see. Utah needs Hayward back. Absolutely. I just talked about that. It's a great one. AD to Boston. KD back to OKC. J.R. Smith to the G League. Man, my man J.R. got relegated to the G League. I think J.R. could fit on a team. Don't let the mistake he made in the finals, not knowing about the timeouts in the situation for you. J.R. can still play on the NBA level off a bench for a contending team in limited spots. As long as he's motivated, I think that could happen. AD to Boston is good. I think the Lakers are the favorites, but Boston has a very, very good chance, especially with Gordon Hayward. If they decide to move on from him, that may be able to happen. KD back to OKC? No, nah. Him and Russ, they act like they're cool. I don't see KD swallowing that pride and going back to OKC. I really don't see that happening. But it would be a great story. Hashtag fire Luke. You gotta give my man Luke some more time, man. Luke is getting a bad rap. He's definitely the scapegoat for this Lakers situation so far. But look at what he's doing with his team. Defensively, playing a lot better. Offensively, a lot of it's not his fault because he wants to play that quick style of play. But when you have LeBron James, he wants to play a slower tempo. Of course, you all heard the reports. LeBron ain't really, trying to get the play calls from Luke. They're going to figure this thing out. But I will at least allow him to finish the season. I would not fire him right now. At least allow him to finish the season and kind of see what happens from there. Will someone snatch Melo up? That's tough, man. I think he's definitely getting blackballed. He's the kind of the Kaepernick in this situation of the NBA. Not that he took a knee or anything like that, but the fact that he can still play. Of course, he's not a number one option. And I just made a video about this yesterday. He's not number one option. Probably not even the number two option anywhere. But when it comes to talent-wise, he could just play. But he just reminds me of the way Allen Iverson went out, and the way Iverson went out was not that good. And a lot of it because he couldn't come off the bench. He didn't want to take a lesser role. And if Melo, he seemed like he was okay coming off the bench. It didn't really fit his play style. So that's tough if he'll get snatched up. But if he does, I think it'll be later by a contender. I think a contender team will maybe take a chance. But when I say later, I'm talking February or March later. I think it's definitely going to be a while. J.R. Smith for Cameron Payne. Hey man, that could work if Cleveland wants to do that. Go for it, man. Derrick Rose rules makes AD Boston impossible. Derrick Rose rule. It can still happen. Like I said, Gordon Hayward, if they want to make that move, it could definitely happen. Would you say, David? Why is everybody talking about Anthony Davis? He's still under contract in New Orleans. New Orleans not gonna let him go for nothing. Then another Super Bowl. Yeah. Well, this is basically it. Like I just said slightly, if New Orleans, the ball's in their court. If New Orleans could convince AD that they could build a winning team, AD's going to stay. He wants to stay in New Orleans. That is actually his preference of places to stay. So yes, definitely that will happen. But if they're in the Western Conference, if they keep not making the playoffs and keep struggling and they're in the bottom half at some point, he has, technically 2 years left, this year and next year under his deal. I don't see him being traded this year unless there's a crazy offer that just comes to the table. But in the summer, if he doesn't sign that Supermax, which we know he's going to be eligible for, and he kind of positions himself that, hey, I'm going to leave. If he tells them I'm going to leave, you have no choice but to trade him. You had to trade him to get something back. How are you going to look if you allow Anthony Davis to leave and DeMarcus Cousins to leave and you got nothing back in return? You do have Julius Randle, who's been looks like one of the steals of the offseason, but you have to definitely do something. I have a trade prediction that I think may happen for Fultz, Bolden, and Ariza, 2019 second round pick. Logically, it could make sense. I'm just not quite sure what Philly is looking for right now for Trevor Ariza. I mean, not Trevor Ariza, for Markelle Fultz. Of course, we heard today he looks like he's going to be out at least 3 weeks. I can't tell you the exact diagnosis right now. I can't remember off the top of my head, but basically he has a diagnosis where something was wrong with the nerve in his neck, and that's what's preventing him from shooting the basketball. If you ask me, I think that's a PR thing to kind of get his value back up. I think he will be. I don't see Markelle staying in Philly long term. So maybe that does happen. The Lakers need Bill. I agree he will help them out. I just don't see how they can make a move for him right now unless they trade, of course, Brandon Ingram. Don't be surprised if they trade aging CP3. They shouldn't have signed. If you're asking me, if you were going to make the move that they made at the time of signing Chris Paul, I had nothing against that signing because you're in a win now situation. When you're in that win now situation and that window was so small in the NBA, you have to go all in. So I had nothing against them spending all that money, grabbing Chris Paul, but I thought they were going to hold on to Trevor Ariza, Luke Mbah-a-Moute. They allowed them to leave, and then you have Chris Paul. You brought in a Carmelo Anthony that really wasn't a fit to begin with. If you were going to do that, I didn't like the signing of Chris Paul. If you're going to keep your nucleus together and continue and give you one more year, because you were literally an injury away and a half away. You had Golden State in Game 6, and you had them in Game 7 before, I think, what was it, 27 straight threes they missed? Something wild like that. You had them. I would have brought back almost that same team and tried it again. But Chris Paul, I think because of the his contract, his age, his injury history, I don't know what you can really get back for in the trade. Nah, man, I ain't trading Fultz for anything at the moment. He's the number 1 pick. I mean, I can see that logic. You already spent all this on him. It's 2 ways to go about it. You can either cut bait, take your losses, or you could just keep holding on. It's like when you're holding stock and that stock drops and it plummets, and you can either sell or you could just hope maybe, the value goes back up before you sell. That's where Philly is with Markelle Fultz. But hopefully, I'm not wishing bad on the guy at all. Hopefully he can get everything back together and things to go great. What do you think is the most important? Is the most the Jazz can get in exchange for Grayson Allen? Not a lot right now. Grayson Allen, I think he'll be just fine. I think he's one of those guys gonna take 2 or 3 seasons to kind of get into shape, but he's gonna be just fine. A few more questions because let me see. Yeah, I could probably have a few more minutes going. So let's see. Yeah, so let's see. Speaking truth, yes, I'm trying to let you guys know what's going on. I feel like people are paying way too much attention to Simmons' lack of shooting, affecting his team and the success of the playoffs, and not paying attention to how much Jimmy changes things. Jimmy, I guess let me see if I see where you're going with this question. Jimmy Butler is not the greatest shooter. He can shoot. That's why I really didn't like him going with Ben Simmons. I don't mind the fact that Ben Simmons isn't a great shooter. I'm not one of those that he needs to be the best 3-point shooter in the world. I do agree he needs to become a better shooter. I don't think he needs to be the best shooter in the world per se. But like I said, I think like you said it right. People are paying too much attention. Simmons brings a whole dynamic that's absolutely crazy. That is very, very good. So that's I don't really know what to say about it. Yeah, Jimmy Butler, I think, hurts the team long run. I think Ben Simmons is going to be a great player. And stop spamming the chat. Brandon Ingram is getting traded. Like I said earlier, he's in trade talks. The Lakers, when I said he's getting traded, they aren't, calling every team like, yo, we got Brandon Ingram, we got Brandon Ingram. But if it's a star player and he's available and the cost is Brandon Ingram, the Lakers are going to move him. That's basically where they're at with Brandon Ingram. It's just not working a lot with how they envision with him and LeBron. Clearly, they're not working very, very good together. So I'm sorry, guys. I definitely got to go. I tried to make this a quick stream. We went 25 minutes, but like, let me know. I think this might be a thing we could do going forward. If you want to see this more moving forward, multiple times per week, let me know in the chat. We could definitely do this. Maybe have some live watch. Watch some games. We could talk as well. This is dope. I had a great time. Like I said, some videos tomorrow. I have a Kevin Love video in the morning as well. I'll probably work on that tonight. Have that in the morning. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, it's DLloydTV, DLloyd TV. But we will be back with more live streams. And yeah, I'll catch you guys. I'll try to do this. What's today? Tuesday. I'll try to do this again this week. I'll let you guys know when the next time I do it, maybe, or I'll just hop on like I did just here. But you guys be safe. You guys have a good night. More videos will be out tomorrow, and I got YouTube stories, so I'll be posting tomorrow on that as well. But I'll see you guys later. Peace.